Movie Fanatic.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Movie Fanatic review. Movie Fanatic is a playlist under the Depressed Ramen Noodles channel where you can see other films that my friends and I have made throughout the years. Today's film review is going to be on the film Harriet, directed by Kasi Lemmons, starring Cynthia Erivo. From her escape from slavery through the dangerous missions she led to liberate hundreds of slaves through the Underground Railroad, the story of heroic abolitionist Harriet Tubman is told. I saw the film last night and I was amazed by the content and the storyline it portrayed. And here is why I give the film 4.5 stars. Number 1. Cinematic symbols. During parts of the film, there were moments where Harriet would get visions of what was going to happen in the future, which led her to make either safer or even more dangerous decisions when it came to rescuing other slaves. These visions, Harriet claimed, would be from God, and I loved how the film decided to portray this because in the original history, Harriet Tubman suffered from epileptic seizures after being hit in the head with a 2-pound weight at a grocery store. With these seizures, she had visions that she also claimed to be from God, and I quite enjoyed the cinematography of these scenes, and I thought they portrayed it really well. Number 2. Actors. Cynthia Erivo played the role of Harriet and gave us a breathtaking performance. In an interview with Sunday Morning, she said, quote, "Harriet is one of those people I made it my business to know about. And as an actress, my job is to make sure that I tell the story as truthfully as I can." End quote. And I believe she did just that. I personally was not taught much about Harriet Tubman other than that she escaped from slavery and helped run the Underground Railroad. It was nice to know that she also helped during the Civil War to free 750 other folks escaping from slavery, as well as along with all these other things that she did that I had little to no knowledge about. Going back to the visions part, I didn't understand what they were trying to portray at first. I had to actually look it up online to see that she suffered from seizures and had these visions that she claimed to be from God. Now, if we are talking in terms of history, at the time, Harriet Tubman was a fugitive for escaping slavery, as well as a thief for stealing property. In that case, I mean that other people who were slaves were owned by white Americans as they were their master. Number 3, history portrayal. Films that are based on true stories or based on true events are one of my absolute favorite films to watch, and especially when it gives us an accurate depiction of the history surrounding that period. Like I said earlier, I don't remember learning much about slavery in school other than it was bad, and the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation helped end it. Watching the film made me realize that I don't remember much about slavery. It makes me upset and angry in a sense that we aren't taught enough about this in schools. And it is something that we should be focused more on deeply because it is such an important part of American history. I can't remember learning about the Fugitive Slave Act. I don't remember learning about Tubman helping out during the Civil War. I just don't know much knowledge on the subject. So I was thankful that this film was able to give me some knowledge that led me to do more research on Harriet Tubman herself and on the subject of slavery as a whole. The one reason I didn't give the film 5 stars was because of the pacing. Some of the pacing was a little slow for my taste, but at the same time, I believe the pacing also works and how it is. It can help audiences bring in all the information given to them because it is a lot to take in. Now that we have the review out of the way, here are some fun facts about Harriet Tubman, and these facts are from pbs.org. Number 1. Harriet Tubman was born Arminita Ross. She would later adopt the name Harriet after her mother Harriet Ross. The surname Tubman came from her first husband, John Tubman, who she married in 1844. Number 2. Harriet was born a slave and raised on Maryland's eastern shore, where the lines between slavery and freedom were often blurred. It was not unusual for families in this area to include both free and enslaved members. Harriet's own husband, John Tubman, was free. Her status, however, remained unchanged until she fled to Pennsylvania, a free state, in 1849. Her husband did not make the journey with her and ultimately remarried after Harriet's departure. Number 3. Harriet would return to Maryland many times over the next decade to rescue both family and non-family members from the bondages of slavery. Number 4. Harriet earned the nickname Moses after the prophet Moses in the Bible, who led his people to freedom. In all of her journeys, she never lost a passenger. Number 5. Tubman's work was a constant threat to her freedom and safety. Slaveholders placed a bounty on her for her capture, and the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 was an ever-present danger, imposing severe punishment on anyone who assisted to escape the slaves. The Fugitive Slave Act was passed by Congress in 1850, which required slaves to be returned to their owners even if they were in a free state. In Harriet Tubman's time, the slave states were Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Florida Territory, Arkansas Territory, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. The free states were Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, New York, and Vermont. Number 6. Harriet wore many hats. She was an active proponent of women's suffrage and worked alongside women such as Susan B. Anthony. And during the Civil War, Harriet also worked for the Union Army as a cook, a nurse, and even a spy. Number 7. Harriet was acquainted with leading abolitionists of the day, including John Brown, who conferred with General Tubman about his plans to raid Harper's Ferry. Number 8. Harriet had one daughter, Gertie, whom she and her second husband, Nelson Davis, adopted after the Civil War. Number 9. Harriet suffered lifelong headaches, seizures, and had vivid dreams as a result of a traumatic head injury she suffered as a teenager while trying to stand up for a fellow field hand. These same symptoms gave her powerful visions that she ascribed to God and helped guide her on many trips to the north while leading others to freedom. Number 10. Just before Harriet's death in 1913, she told friends and family, "I go to prepare a place for you." She was buried with military honor in Fort Hill Cemetery in New York. That is going to conclude this Movie Fanatic review. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you can keep in the scoop of when new videos are upcoming. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.